Racist cops laugh at black defendant in court, then realize he's the FBI director. Before we dive in this story, hit the comments and tell us your city or country. Let's see how far this story reaches. If you like the video, please subscribe. Officers smirked as the black man stood in court, cuffed, silent, and surrounded. "He looks guilty already," one whispered, loud enough to be heard. The courtroom buzzed with quiet mockery. No one asked questions. No one knew his name. They just saw another black man in trouble. But when the judge rose and called him director, the room went still. Their smirks disappeared. Because in the next 60 seconds, everything they thought they knew was about to collapse. What happens when the man you humiliate is the one with ultimate power? Watch to the end. It was supposed to be a routine stop. A black man parked outside a courthouse, suited, calm, briefcase in hand. Officers approached and asked questions without cause. When he didn't answer quickly enough, they demanded to see his ID. He didn't argue. But something about his confidence rubbed them the wrong way. They told him he was acting suspicious. When he asked to call someone, they tightened the cuff's no arrest record. No weapon, but that didn't matter. He was taken inside, paraded past waiting onlookers, and treated like a criminal. In the courtroom, murmurs spread. "Another one," someone muttered. The officers who brought him in leaned back, smug, but the man didn't protest. He looked at the clock, waiting, because he knew the truth would arrive soon. And when it did, it wouldn't just clear his name, it would redefine the room. The judge entered. The bailiff called for order. The man remained quiet, standing tall despite the cuffs digging into his wrists. The prosecutor looked confused. "Your Honor, we were told this man was apprehended outside acting erratically. No formal charges were filed, yet here he is?" The judge blinked, then flipped a folder. Her eyes widened. "Please, remove his restraints immediately." The officers laughed nervously. "With respect, Your Honor, we need to confirm." The courtroom doors burst open. Two men in dark suits strode in, badges out. One leaned forward and whispered something to the judge. The judge stood. "Ladies and gentlemen, this man is not a defendant. He is Director Marcus Hawley of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and he was here conducting an internal audit undercover." The room dropped to silence. The officers paled. "We didn't know," one muttered. Marcus finally spoke. His voice was calm, unshaken. "You didn't ask." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Phones came out. He looked at the men who cuffed him. "In your rush to assume, you exposed more than bias, you exposed a broken instinct. And now, we fix it. Because he wasn't just here to watch the system, he came to clean it from the inside. An internal affairs team arrived that same hour. The arresting officers were escorted out, stunned, reputations shattered. The courtroom became a crime scene, not against Marcus, but against justice itself. Marcus gave a quiet statement. "This isn't about me. It's about how many are cuffed every day without power, without cameras, without backup. If this can happen to the FBI director, imagine what happens in silence." Reporters flooded the steps outside. Headlines exploded nationwide, but Marcus didn't seek fame. He walked back into the courthouse uncuffed, briefcase in hand, resuming his audit. Because this was never about revenge. It was about revelation. That day became a turning point for the city. New training programs were launched. Bias reviews were mandated. The officers resigned in disgrace. But for Marcus, it wasn't a victory. It was a reminder. A reminder that status doesn't shield you from assumption, that a suit means nothing if your skin still makes you a target. And yet, in that moment, power met prejudice and didn't flinch. His story lit up the nation. But the question burned brighter. How many more leaders, dreamers, protectors are being mistaken for threats? Simply because of how they look? Drop your city in the comments if you believe justice should be based on truth, not appearance. Take care.